Always good. We're excited about it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
How are you doing out there in the great state of Arizona, isn't it?
Now that, where they do all the gambling.
Oh, Nevada, yeah. Well, I knew it was one of them out there. Oh,
Yeah.
in the Las Vegas state.
Well, I'm about 400 miles north of Vegas, but yeah, Nevada's got the great, whatever you want to call it, of only having about four big cities.
Yep,
You know,
doesn't have many
like
of them. That's true.
they got Nevada, they got Reno, they got Carson City. Um, that's pretty much it for
Yeah,
reasonably big cities. Everything else is small.
yeah. About 40 years ago, I had a company, a government contractor, offer me a job if I would move out there. Problem is, the job was going to be on top of a mountain, 100 miles out in the middle of nowhere from Las Vegas, and it just didn't seem real appealing to me, so I didn't take it.
It sounds like they were going to put you to work at Area 51.
Well, something like that. I don't know.
You would have went into cognito. You would disappeared off the planet Earth.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. It might happen. It was a government contract job. I'm maintaining a microwave site on top of a mountain. And
Well, it could have had something to do with Area 51
it might have. I don't know.
because I know that. Well, nowadays there used to be a mountaintop. I can't think of the name of it. It's about 7,000 feet high, and all us buffs, us alien buffs,
Uh huh.
you could go up in the mountain during the summer, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and you could see Area 51.
Hmm.
But like everything else, if the government's bought more property,
Yep. Right.
around it, then there's a good chance you may not be able to go up to that mountaintop anymore.
That might be. That was that was back in my younger years when I was working for NASA. They wanted to,
Ah,
so they wanted me to go out there and maintain a microwave site. I had the experience and the knowledge. I just didn't particularly want to go out in the middle of 100 miles out in the middle of nowhere on top of a mountain, and it just didn't seem appealing to me.
yeah. Well, I just happen to know that's part of what they use microwave for
Yeah.
because the security around that base is just
Oh yeah.
would boggle anybody's mind.
Well, I never did get talking to him enough to find out exactly what the microwave was there for and what it was doing, but I was pretty sure it wasn't for cooking breakfast. So,
No, absolutely not. Because see, that's another one of my soapbox discussions: is aliens and do they exist?
aliens and do they exist? Well, I'm a big Star Trek fan, Trekkie. You know,
You're a Trekkie too, huh?
I'm a Trekkie, so if I believe in Star Trek, I gotta believe there's aliens out there.
Well, and I agree with you. The question is, are they here?
Well, no, I don't know about that yet. As soon as I find Planet Vulcan, I'll know. Oh, me. Good evening. This is Mike in Georgia, and you've reached our winning team training call. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
David Mincy from Melbourne, Florida.
Melbourne, Florida. At least he's not one of those aliens from outer space out there. David's from the great state of
Now,
Florida.
how do you know I'm not an alien?
I was being nice and making an assumption.
Okay.
Now you got to remember, they're here. You don't know who they are, but they're here.
Yeah, but Elvis is on Mars.
Think so?
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
I think he's underground, and I don't mean in a 6-foot coffin either.
Oh, me.
Because you know that he worked. That's a whole other story we could go on. But you know that he worked for the CIA, even though he was an entertainer.
No, I didn't know that, but I won't deny it either.
Yeah, and that's why the conspiracy people believe that because he worked for the CIA, he did have the knowledge, and he could have made himself disappear. He could have, it could have been just a whole big whatever.
This is getting too weird for me.
Oh, me. Oh, me. We just getting wound up here, David. That's all.
I had a webinar the other night for Four Corners,
Yes, sir.
and it was the biggest joke I ever heard in my life.
It fell through, didn't it? It didn't work.
Yeah, it was bad.
They're repeating it tonight. Hopefully, it's going to be better tonight. At 9 o'clock.
Well, I didn't hear it, so I can't say anything about it.
They had
Was
some,
you there, Mike?
No, I wasn't, but I got information. They said they had some considerable technical troubles, and the webinar just didn't come off the way it was supposed to. So they are repeating it tonight at 9 o'clock. Good evening. This is Mike in Georgia. You've reached our winning team training call. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Yes, is this the fantabulous Mike Lyles from Georgia?
We were just trying to decide that, or if this was one of the aliens from Area 51.
Sorry I'm late. My wife called me about 5 minutes until the hour, and I've been talking to her since.
Well, that's good.
So,
At least you're talking. That's good.
yeah, we're talking, and we were friendly, and so everything's cool.
Well,
So she's coming home tomorrow, and hopefully everything will be in order here. And
Well, have you got George's box all cleaned up and plenty of water and food for him?
well, I made sure of that, and I just need to make sure of it in the morning when I get up,
Right.
so that everything appears copacetic
Well, if
to
you
my
got
wife.
if you got George all taken care of, I'm sure everything else will be fine.
And he's laying down in the corner now. He's happy because
Well, that's good.
he's got a full tummy, and he's happy.
That's good. As long as George is happy, everybody's happy.
That's about the size of it.
So, how are you doing this evening?
I'm okay. Just looking forward to a basketball game about 9 p.m.
You are, huh? You still following those losers?
You are in no position to criticize, considering we just beat your funky butts.
Oh man, I know.
But they're winning. They're up 2-1, and
Well, that's a good start. That's a good start.
If they win tonight, no team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit.
Okay.
They're like 52-0 when they get to 3. So.
Well, since I'm not, they've already messed up any hopes I had for having Atlanta win. I guess I'll help you root for them.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very Christian of you.
That don't mean I'm gonna watch them, but I will help you root for them.
You know what they said on the news? That David Blatt, our coach, is Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, called him and said, "All Israel is rooting for the Cavs." So we've got the entire Jewish nation rooting for the Cavs.
Well, I hope that's a good thing.
I hope it's a good thing. There are some that would say otherwise, but I'm hoping it's a good thing.
Oh, never would I say otherwise. I hope it's a good thing. I don't really follow basketball, so it really don't matter a whole lot to me. But
you don't follow sports, period, do you? Other than college football?
Yeah, I follow Taekwondo.
Okay.
Because that's where my daughter and my granddaughter both black belts in Taekwondo, and my granddaughter is in serious training to be in the Olympics. Probably not till 2019 or 2020 or 2020. I guess it'll be whenever, or 20. I don't know. She's only 14. She's got to be 17 to participate in the Olympics. So, but she's still going through qualifying competitions now. So,
okay,
we do follow her and root for her.
My niece is on the list for the national volleyball team for the United States.
Yeah, well, that's good.
She'll be a senior this next year, so
she's old enough to qualify for the 2016? Is that when they have the next one?
I don't know, something like that.
Well,
but she's on the list to be auditioned.
Well, that's good. If she's on that team, she is in position to be qualifying. So,
well, she's been participating in the Junior Olympics for the past 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
So they're looking at her very seriously.
Yeah, Emily's been qualifying there, but in fact she'll be in a couple weeks or third through 11th of July she'll be down in Texas, Austin.
I'm sorry.
You are, huh? I think it's not long. I know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I think that's the U.S. national. She's going to be participating in Austin. And
that'll be good.
And then some kind of international tournament is coming up soon. If she qualifies in Austin, she'll qualify. If she'll be participating in the international tournament.
Like I said, Mike, I pity the boy that tries to take her out. Kind of something. If he tries something inappropriate, he may end up with a bloody nose or a broken arm or
something.
Who
like
knows
that.
what'll happen to him? So
we're not too awful worried about it. I will say that.
Right.
She does real good. So. Well,
So downtown Russell Brown didn't show up?
He's supposed to be here. You told me he was going to be here. He may have told me he was going to be here, but
yeah,
I haven't seen him yet. That don't mean he won't be here. That really doesn't mean he won't be here.
Well, he's in Virginia, and he said he can come. He said he gets off work at 5:30, and he expects to be here.
Is he in
And
Virginia? I thought he was in Maryland.
no, he's in Virginia.
Oh, okay. Well, if he's from Virginia, he's still one of them good boys, good old boys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, he seemed excited. Who else is on? And it said there are three people here. Who's the third?
We got Robert and we got David. Robert, speak up.
Hey, Dave.
I heard Robert speak before, but I haven't heard David yet.
Well, he's there.
No, David's here.
Okay, very good.
David's feeding his face.
We've already determined David is probably not a space alien, so we're doing good here.
Well, that's good news. Did you hear they're bringing back the X-Files next year?
You can already watch the X-Files on Netflix.
No, this is new episodes.
Oh, new episodes. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about
With
that.
Mulder and Scully, the same people.
Same pair, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear about
Same
that.
pair? When is it supposed to start?
Spring of next year.
Oh, spring of next year.
Yeah, they said 2016.
Well, in the meantime,
Well, I have to look forward to that.
in the meantime, you can go to Netflix and get caught up because they got it starting from episode 1. You can get started on them there and catch up and be right ready for them when they come out with the new episodes. Or you could watch the Cavs play basketball, one or two.
That's what I intend to do. That's what I intend to use.
Well, let me go to the person who can always get something started here, Mr. David. If you got any questions, any comments, or anything that you want to bring out, we really need to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I ordered one of them HTML for Dummy books off Amazon.
Yes, sir.
It's the latest edition with 5 and CSS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cascading style sheets. CSS.
Well, I didn't think that was the first one that came out.
No, the first one I came out was HTML4. So, or that was the first one I got my hands on. Let me rephrase that. There may have been others before that, but it was a very good book to get started with, and I'm sure the one you got ordered, it'll be a very good one to get started with. Especially if it's got 5 and CSS, and if you do anything with WordPress and you want to use the HTML to do it with, they use a lot of CSS, for and things like that. So it'd be real good knowledge, real good thing to have.
Yeah, it's supposed to be here tomorrow.
All right.
Very good.
So I learned something.
Well, I'm sure you will, and then you'll be on here teaching all of us something. I'm pretty proficient with HTML4 with just basic stuff, but when it gets to some of the fancier stuff, I have to go find somebody else that knows something. So it'd be good to know that you do.
Yeah, I'm having to do that with this turbo on the truck. Find somebody that knows something.
Find somebody that knows something. Yeah, I got to go find somebody that knows something to fix my truck. It got brakes making a funny noise. I don't like that. So that's my yard truck. It sits in my yard as kind of a monument out there in the front yard. But, I don't drive it. don't drive it too awful much since I retired, but I keep it there, so the kids and everything can have a truck to come borrow.
Yeah.
Robert, have you got anything you want to talk about tonight that's business related that we need to discuss here?
Uh, I'm right at the moment, although that doesn't mean something might not come up.
That don't mean something won't come up. I can always depend on Robert. That's great. Well, Reverend Dave, I'm gonna have to. This is a big step, but I'm gonna have to pass it on to you now. Let you come on in here and share with us.
Well, I just wanted to share today that I've had revelation into network marketing, and it's nothing new. It's just we need to learn how to duplicate.
Yes, sir.
We need to learn how to teach people how to duplicate and not reinvent the wheel and not do a whole bunch of silly things, but we want to appeal to the masses in the best way we know how. And let people know that we are real people, and the best way to do that, Mike, I reply to different venues for information, and virtually 9 out of every 10 never follow up with me other than with an autoresponder, and that's not right. We need to follow up personally and let people know we care for them, and we don't discriminate concerning whatever they're doing, but that we want to help. And when people know you actually care and that you actually want to help, wonderful things happen. And I feel that my team, the team I have assembled with me, is one of the best teams I have. But a lot of them still have not learned duplication. They're still looking for me to lead, and I'll be glad to lead. But there's only so much I can do for them. I can encourage and I can motivate, but we need to keep in mind that that's not our job. Our job is to duplicate and to keep people interested in what we have to do. We have some wonderful businesses, Four Corners and Skythorpe and Feeder Matrix and GDI are some of the best businesses. They've been around for a while. They're not going away.
They pay
And so
good.
we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about them saying, "Oh, I'm closing up shop because I'm an illegal scam." Uh, Sometimes that happens. It's happened to all of us. But we know that when we duplicate and that we're able to show people just exactly what we're doing, it should be able to be happen for anybody. And that's all I wanted to say.
Well, let me
So we
ask.
just need to emphasize duplication.
Let me ask you something, and you knew I would, didn't you? Uh,
Yeah.
would you like to have a team, a downline below you that does exactly what you do?
Well, within certain parameters, yes. I
Okay.
try to keep it. I try to keep it very simple. I don't try to complicate. Now, granted, I use HTML. That's a little bit complicated. And
No.
granted, I mean it can be for people that don't understand, but it's teachable.
But you don't make it complicated in what you do and what you use with it. You use it. You keep it simple, but
Hmm.
you keep it attractive, and you keep it, you know, what something that people will not only just look at, but they will be interested enough to, or attracted to it enough to read the whole thing, and that's a key there. Just having a nice, pretty website that don't do a thing in the world, or a nice, pretty email if people don't stop and read it. Oh, Go ahead. Continue what you were saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Well, we all need to be different. We all need to display our personalities because that was people people follow courage and people follow other people. They don't follow businesses. Businesses are a dime a dozen. There's lots of good businesses out there. I don't say one business is better than another. I just say that when you're doing your business, it's leadership and marketing that will make you rich, not the business.
Let me throw in one little comment there. If you don't like what businesses you see out there right now, wait about 5 minutes. There'll be a new one come along.
Oh yeah, but I'm not necessarily enamored with new businesses. I like some of the old business. GDI has been around for years.
Since
Four
1999.
Four Corners started, I think, 2 years ago overseas, or
Actually,
4 years ago.
actually, about 9 years ago, they got started. They were marketing a newsletter, just pure and simple, a newsletter. Now you're correct there. A couple years ago, and actually, they really got started here in the states. But the creator, David Harrison, is from Australia. He's an Aussie, and he actually moved and lives here in the states now. And that's where he evolved Four Corners into what it is today, which is what I consider really a fantastic opportunity. But it requires one key thing, and you've hit on it already tonight. It requires duplication.
I had a gentleman approach me because he opted into the winning team site, got set up on the autoresponder,
Hmm.
and he wants to talk to me. I have no idea where he is, but I personally followed up with him with an email and told him how to get hold of me via Skype, or he reached out to me via Google Plus
Yeah.
and wanted to see if we could correspond or communicate that way. And I told him that would be fine. But I'll let him know that I was interested in him personally, and that it doesn't matter where he is in the world, I would work with him and help him all I could. Because that's just my nature. I want to help people get their dreams. And if I help enough people get their dreams, I'll get my dreams.
I believe that. I believe that.
Well, that's what Zig Ziglar said anyway.
Yeah, he was a pretty good fellow too.
He was. And believe me, he helped a lot of people get their dreams.
Yes, sir. He did.
You know what I discovered? He, when he was still alive, he put his personal phone number in all of his communications, and he personally answered his own phone. He
Yes, sir.
didn't have a secretary who answered it, and I think that's just tremendous, considering the number of people that probably called him every day and wanted advice and wanted counsel for various things.
I'm sure he got a tremendous number of calls.
Right. Oh.
He and his brother too. Yeah, well, of course he had multiple brothers, but he had one brother that was probably at one time more famous than he was, and not too many people know him anymore because he died earlier. But Judge Ziegler was Judge Ziegler was probably helped guide, mold, and create his younger brother Zig.
Hmm.
I don't know if any of y'all familiar with Judge or not, but
I'm not.
of course,
But I've been listening to Zig Ziglar since 1982 when I went to my first free enterprise.
yeah.
He was there. He was there every year,
Oh,
and I always look forward to him.
yep. Of course, he came from a family of 12 boys, so
Hmm.
he 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 had a good crowd to speak to start with, just staying at home.
That's it. That's it.
He went to high school with my mother, so, from the same town that I'm from.
Hmm.
That makes me great because I'm from the same town, right?
I guess.
It does.
Or does it or does it mean that if I do something, if I create my own fame, then I'll be great because I'm from the same town.
You'll be amongst the great,
There you
which you are.
there you go. There you go.
I hesitate to call you an expert because you know I don't do that.
Well, I know the true definition of an expert. So, but one of the things that Zig Ziglar taught, and he taught, of course, I've had the opportunity to meet with him personally on a number of occasions, but he one of the things he taught that most people really don't really give him a whole lot of credit for, but he taught selling products. He taught selling. He
Hmm.
believed in selling. He believed that nobody made anything and nothing happened until something was sold. That was one of his firm beliefs that
Hmm.
selling was probably the most important occupation or whatever in the world that exists. That selling was absolutely important, and that you needed a product to sell, whether that product was tangible or was it virtual or whatever. You did need to have something to sell, and that selling was the greatest profession there was. Uh, and like I said, he firmly believed nothing happened and no one made a dime until somebody sold something. And if you stop and think about it, that's right. Until somebody sells, nobody makes a dime.
Yep.
How how true that is.
And virtually everybody in the world is involved in sales. Everybody has to sell something, whether it be themselves.
Number one.
I'm even when a boy asks a girl out on a date, he has to sell himself
That's one of the biggest
to
selling
make
jobs there is, I think, isn't it?
to make himself attractive that the girl would want to go out on a date with him. So the world is in sales.
Yeah, I run across so many
Uh,
people
uh,
that say they don't want to sell. They say they want to make money. They want to make money, but they don't want to sell anything. They
mhm.
can't sell anything. And of course, you know what I think about the word can't. But
Right.
in case I got to say it. We're being recorded. I got to say it. Can't simply means that you're just not willing to try.
Hmm.
So
Amen.
when you tell me you
That's
not
very
that you
true.
can't do something, it just means that you're not willing to try. My kids heard that so many times growing up. I get if you ask them today what the word definition of the word can't is, they say it means you're not willing to try. And my kids try, and I have to say that all my kids, while they might not be the most famous people in the world and the biggest or the richest, they are. Every one of my kids are what I consider successful, and to some degree, each one of them in their own way. But I, you know, I taught that. Every time one of them would even start to get the word out, I'd say it just means you're not willing to try. Pretty soon they knew better than to say that word. if we could just get the whole world believing that, what could we accomplish? And how could we duplicate? How well could we duplicate?
Hmm.
The other the other thing to think about when you're talking about duplication, I'm just throwing some thoughts out here in my mind randomly. You see, I'm not real organized, but one of the things that you know, I'm about to forget what I was saying here. You can see I'm really, really not organized. Uh, but you want to duplicate, but one of the ways that you absolutely, I think one of the steps that's absolutely necessary to duplicate is to lead by example. Lead by example. You want someone to follow you. You know, the, you got to lead by example, not get out there and say, "Hey, look, follow me," or you know, followers, they earn the right to be followed. And so, if you want someone to do what you are willing to do it. Show the way. Don't talk the way. Don't tell the way. Show the way.
I know some good leaders that are also followers.
That's probably one of the first steps of being a good leader.
Well, I have come to the conclusion that there are two theories to arguing with women, and neither one works.
That's right. You got that right.
I think you're probably right there too.
And I think we should never miss a good chance to shut up, so I will.
Oh, now you don't want to do that.
Well, how about this? Always drink upstream from the herd.
Okay.
Me too.
How about this? Never kick a cow chip on a hot day.
Not a good idea.
Never slap a man chewing tobacco.
Yikes.
You do have some sage advice there.
These are all sayings of Will Rogers.
Yep. He had some sage advice to share, that's for sure.
Okay, let's talk about some ways to duplicate.
All righty. Let me see who else was joining us here, and then we'll get right to that one. This is Mike in Georgia. Please tell us who you are, where you calling from.
Which one you getting back to, Mike? Tony Malone, how you doing?
And this is downtown Russell Brown. Good evening. Glad to hear you on here tonight.
No, it's Tony.
Oh, that's Tony. I'm sorry, Tony. I missed your voice. I'm sorry. You're right. I recognize your voice now.
Tony, I tried to call you, and they said your phone's been shut off.
I got a new number right now. I meant to send it to you.
Yeah,
remember the last call you had? Huh?
Email it to me so I can have it.
Okay, so you have it now?
No, I don't have it yet, because I tried to call you on your own number, and I got a disconnect notice.
Yeah, I have a new number now.
Yeah, email it to me so I can put it down in my database.
No problem.
Thanks, Tony.
No problem.
Tony, we're passing on some sage advice of just random. We're not organized tonight. We're just randomly discussing some sage advice that we have learned over the years. One of the best pieces I can give you is make sure your upline and downline both have your phone number. Oh.
Yeah, that's a good start right there.
David had something. David down in Florida had something he was fixing to share with us here, and let me turn it back over to him and let him share with us now. Go ahead, David.
No, I was asking a question. Let's talk about some ways to duplicate.
All righty, you start first.
How do you duplicate yourself? What's your opinion?
Can I answer that one?
Yes, sir.
Just keep looking in the mirror, man, and see, look for somebody who,
The man
somebody
in the
who
mirror.
is going to be like. So if you have a booger in your nose, you know, you might attract somebody who also has a booger in his nose
I was
or
going
her
to
nose.
say you might attract the wrong person, but that's all right. As long as you're attracting, I guess. The
Yeah,
man.
but you know, that's just an example. It doesn't mean that you're perfect or anything like that. It's just that you attract the person in the mirror.
Is that define that just a little bit? That means if you are wanting to build a team, if you want to find some people out there that will help you and work with you build a team, what you need to do is look in the mirror and see if the person in the mirror is the type of person that you're looking for.
Is doing what he's seeking, correct?
And recognize and
Well,
Because
realize
you
that
know,
that's probably who you're going to attract is more people like the person in the mirror. Which I'm not saying that's good or bad, right now, because it just depends on who you're seeing in the mirror and is the person in the mirror what you're looking for. If it's not, fix the person in the mirror and then go out and get them.
in other words, I assume that everybody on the call is a go-getter, is a self-starter. We pretty much know we know what's going on. The person you're going to attract is the laziest person that you're going to meet. In other words, they're going to seek the path of least resistance all the time, which means they're looking for a leader or somebody like you, one of us. And then if you give them that opportunity, that if you open that door of the path of least resistance, they will take it. So you got to set your standards right from day one. This is me, Mike Lyles. This is how I operate. You're welcome to join us. If not, if I'll see you later.
I would agree with that.
And to me, the most important part of reaching other people is instilling a dream in them, giving them a reason why they want to build a business. If you don't have a reason why, you won't build squat. And yet, if people have a reason why, they will move heaven and earth. And yes, there'll be discouragements, but it's up to us to get them over the discouragements and let them know.
Yeah,
point out when they're making progress, and people make progress every day.
Let me ask you a question there. You said that it is up to us to give them a reason why. Was that a correct statement?
No, I'm saying you need to help them find their reason why.
Okay.
Something that motivates them.
Okay.
It could be any number of things. Like for me, I was always most motivated by people that wanted to be a philanthropist, where they would give to charitable organizations and just help out randomly with no thought of how much money it was going to cost. They just helped. And that always motivated me. I was never turned on by the fancy cars, the big houses, the fancy condos, the vacations. I like all of that, but that's not what motivated me. And when people started talking about giving to organizations, worthwhile organizations that would help others, that's when I got motivated. And it still motivates me today.
That's your
Now, that's
motivation.
because,
Go ahead, Robert.
yeah, that's because if you give it away, you'll get it back.
Always.
But just listening here, I think of duplication, and I always think of McDonald's. And I think it's probably because I worked for McDonald's one time, and I think I learned a lot. The questions always come to my mind, especially when you talk about duplication, is, think of McDonald's. Think of going anywhere in the country where they have a McDonald's, and I can guarantee you that when you go in and order a Big Mac, it will be the same in Germany as it will in Tokyo, as it will in the United States. It will be the same no matter where you go. And so by my understanding, that's duplication. And to tie the next word to duplication that I think is so important is a term that we've all heard before, and it's called cookie cutter. If I can show anybody, it doesn't make any difference to me what their desire or dream is, because that's up to them. That's not up to me. But if I can show them a cookie cutter method, if I can show them 1, 2, 3, this is what you do, and this is what will get accomplished when you do it, then by that definition, they're going to be successful. Now, their success is going to depend on their dream. Now, I believe that each and every one of us has our own dream. I have my dream, Mike has his, Dave has his, the other Dave in Florida has his. We each have our own dream. And the beauty of it is, neither one of us have a dream that is similar to anybody else at all. But when it comes to duplication, in that respect, we have the same desire. And that desire is to duplicate in order to create our dream. Now, to duplicate, from the way I see it, you have to have a cookie cutter. Now, even when I grew up and my grandmother used to make cookies, she had a cookie cutter. Now, the advantage of the cookie cutter was that every time she hit that thing on the sink and she pulled it up to put it over there on the pan, every single cookie was the same as the cookie before. So I think sometimes we may, I don't know how to say it, we may go overboard trying to figure out what people want. When they answer our ad, I automatically assume they want what I want. They want to be able to create a business, and they know that the only way to do that is through duplication. So they're looking to me to create that cookie cutter that will show them how to duplicate. Now, the problem with that is, excuse me, I'll use traffic exchanges, for example, only because I use them a lot. I can create a cookie cutter for anybody who wants to use a traffic exchange, and I can show them how to run one, work one, do one, get the credits, the whole bit. The problem is that particular cookie cutter doesn't guarantee that they're going to duplicate anything. All it guarantees is somebody's going to look at it. So, when we get somebody to look at it, I don't know if that's the first battle, the second battle, or what battle it is, but, once you get past that stage, once somebody looks, then you go into the second stage, and the second stage is, as Dave said, you've got to communicate with them, you've got to call them, you've got to email them. Well, I think we all know that sometimes it gets kind of frustrating, and I'm not going to mention any names there, but you call somebody on the upline, for example, and you call them 2 times, and you send them a half a dozen emails, and they never call you, and you're lucky if you get an email, and if you do, it's strictly business. I mean, they give you this little thing that you need to know, and that's it. Because I believe that I do business with Mike, as an example, because I like Mike, and we seem to have something in common. I do business with Dave, because I like Dave, and we seem to have something in common. And so the commonality that we create when we talk to somebody, it's like when you mention a date. I think more, not a date, but just going out and getting a date. You ever seen this thing on TV where this certain company, you meet 20 people in one day and you got 3 minutes to determine whether you'd want to go on a date with them. Well, I got to tell you, if I had to try to talk to somebody and do it in 3 minutes to get them to like me, that's a challenge. That really is a challenge.
That's not you.
Huh?
That's not you.
No,
You
that's
you
not
got a
me.
lot. You got a lot of wisdom to share, but it takes you more than 3 minutes to get it out. So that that wouldn't work for you, in my opinion. It
Right.
wouldn't work for you. There are other
But
methods that would, though.
but the business that I'm in, duplication, I am, how should I say, put in the bucket. I have to basically learn how to, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but I need to be able to attract that person to my personality in 3 minutes. I still haven't figured out how to make a video, but I have learned one thing. Most videos that are on the internet that are referred to splash pages and stuff like that are 3 minutes or less.
Yes, sir.
And in that 3 minutes, you have to, as the old fishing term, you got to get the hook in that first 3 minutes, or you're not going to get them. And so, to me, duplication, I guess, gets back to that simple idea, that first 3 minutes. I got to hook the fish before I can reel him in, take him home, and cook him.
You know what you got to do first? I'm gonna follow your same analogy. What you got to do first is you got to find the bait that's gonna interest that fish before you can hook
There
it,
you go.
and put that
There
bait
you
on
go.
that there, and then you got to put that bait out there where that fish can find it.
There
And
you go.
and then when you do that, then you gotta figure out how to hook it once he bites it. And
Right.
you're right. You're absolutely right. You got to do that in 3 minutes or less. Five
Right.
minutes
Now,
tops.
I want to throw something out because I'm working on an idea, and I don't know whether it'll work, so I'm going to share it, and then you can do whatever you want with it. Okay?
That's good.
Years ago, when I was a kid, my mother traveled all over the United States, so I was basically from the age of about 2 to 7 on the road quite a bit. And I'll never forget coming in from Nevada into California years. I'm talking way back in early 50s. You would see a sign on the long side of the road, and the sign would say, "It's coming." And you think, what the hell is coming? That sign don't make any damn sense at all. And I'll be damned, you go about 3 or 4 miles down the road and you would see a sign. And it would say, "Very soon." And you would be, okay. Then maybe another 4 or 5 miles down the road, you'd see another sign, and the sign would say, "Not much longer to wait." And so all this time, you're riding in a car, and your curiosity is getting more and more and more and more. Well, sure enough, 5, 6 miles down the road, you see another sign. But this time it says, "Are you ready?" And of course, what do? Am I ready for what? I have no clue what I'm ready for, but it's asking me if I'm ready.
But you're looking for the next sign, aren't you?
Yes, you are. That's my point. Because pretty soon you see another sign. It says, "It could be here next week." Now you're getting excited because it's giving you some information. What it's saying is, keep looking for that next sign because it's just around the corner. And sure enough, you go a few more miles and then it says, "It's here." And you say, okay, what the hell is here? I see the sign. It says it's here, but what's here? I've been thinking about maybe doing a splash page, well, actually doing several of them, with that whole idea in mind and setting it up so that I set it down by the week, or say starting, I don't know, 1st of July. The first week of July, I'll put a little splash page out there, and that's all it's going to say. It's coming. And I'm curious myself because I do know one thing that makes the biggest difference in the whole entire world. What all of us get so sick and tired of is going on the internet and seeing the same old thing. For example, I do a lot of surfing, so therefore, when I surf, sometimes I actually think I'm going to fall asleep. I'm so bored. You know what I'm saying?
I have.
Yeah,
From
but
time to
every
time,
once in a
it
while,
happens.
yeah, and every once in a while, though, something will pop up and it'll grab my attention, and then I try to make a note of that. What was it that grabbed my attention? Well, most of the time, it's videos. I've heard it said in the last couple months, videos is the next step. Nobody wants to see this written stuff. Nobody wants what people want, and that's the reason I want to learn how to do videos so bad, is that videos is that personal touch. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And if I could create, and maybe Mike later on this weekend, I can call you and we can discuss this further.
This
Um,
this weekend,
yeah,
this weekend would be bad, but yeah, I would really, really love to, you know, spend some time and talk with you about that because making a video is actually just one of the simplest things in the world to do, and I
yeah,
can teach you that.
yeah.
I'm just gonna be traveling and out of town this weekend, so,
Oh,
but
okay. Well,
I really would like to do that, and anybody else, maybe we could set a time and everybody get together or something even, but
Maybe next Tuesday would be good.
maybe it would,
maybe next Tuesday would be fine.
maybe it would.
But the reason I share that, I wanted to maybe get some feedback, not tonight because it's running late already. But think about what I just said, and think about the fact that if this hasn't been done for 50 years, maybe to me, being different is what makes you successful.
Maybe it's
If
time
you're
to do it
doing
again.
yeah, if you're doing the same old thing, but I think if we did this and it caught people's attention, the guy's surfing and it says, it's coming. And he goes along and says, wait a minute, what the hell's coming? So he keeps surfing, hoping it'll come back.
Can I
I know he
suggest
will.
can I suggest the perfect tool for doing that? And actually, you could even you do it with flash pages. You could do it with little movies, or I mean, when I say a movie, I mean a couple seconds long. It wouldn't have to be long. Just a sign to roll up on your screen and say it's coming. You know,
Right.
but we got a perfect tool that's available to us to do that with, and that's called an autoresponder.
Absolutely.
You get someone your first message, and first message, all you got to do is just pique someone's interest and say it's coming. You know, put your name in that and name and email here in this little form, and that's it.
And that's it.
And from then on,
And
you send them 20, 30 email messages,
right.
one at a
Each,
time. It just it's coming. It's almost here.
and,
It's down the road. It's
and
coming.
right. And each step, uh, and I'm gonna use a word, but they use it in sales, and it's not a bad word if you really understand what the word means. Okay. What you're doing is you're sucking them in
Yep.
because you're doing it with curiosity. And I see on the internet that anymore, I'm on here at least 4 or 5 hours every day. There's no curiosity. And so I was thinking about it because I actually and I dreamt about it. I was in my car with my mother and we were going down the road and I saw this sign that said, Chick. I think that's what it was. It was an advertisement for Chick. Well, hell, I was little. I didn't know what Chick was. And then, and a few miles down the road, it was, have you got yours yet? I got my what yet? And then suddenly I have to think, it has to do with something with Chick, right?
That would
Same idea.
that would be a really really fantastic campaign to put out there, and you could lead someone on for almost a month, just sending them a daily message saying nothing more than what you're talking about. Just one or two words. It's here. It's almost here. Because once they have filled out the little short form that would plug them into the autoresponder, they would you could drip on them for a while, and they'd get to a point where they was almost looking for your message, and you get down to the end. Have you got yours yet?
Right.
Have you joined this
And
yet? You
and
know,
that's why I think, and that's the reason I'm bringing this up, because I think it's a good idea. But just because I think it's a good idea doesn't necessarily mean it's a good idea.
I think
But
you
if I
got a
can
good
get
idea.
like you say, Mike, if I get feedback and I can get some help from you, and you can show me how to do a video, because that's very important to me, I can work down that road. And the beauty of this is I can work this towards Four Corners, I can work it towards GDI, I can work it towards Carisburg, I can work it towards anything.
You're absolutely right.
But it keeps them um, curious.
And that's. I know you said it was around 50 years. I actually remember seeing signs like that. I remember campaigns like that. Driving down the road and everything. But 50 years ago was 50 years ago, and there's not too many people out there uh, like us that still remember things like that. So it would be a brand new, fresh idea. It would be brand new and fresh, and it would be that hook that you want to put the bait on. And
That's it.
it might be the bait that would tempt them. And
That's right.
like I said,
Well, I'm hoping so.
like when you get right down to the end, say, you know, have you got yours yet, or have you joined this yet? Are you with
Yeah.
us?
And then of course, if you really want in, I need your name, phone number, and email address.
Hmm.
And of course, that's several miles down the road, so to speak.
It's coming. You want to know what? Give me your name and email address, and I'll let you know as soon as it's here.
Sounds to me like I got something started tonight.
You did. You always
I
do.
believe you did, yes.
You always do, and that's absolutely great. That's why we like to have you around. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's like, but you got to be careful on how it gets worded, Robert.
Well, that's the reason I want it.
Because like I sent a message to the woman I loved once when I was living in Tahiti, and it says, "Found a virgin paradise. It's yours, Dave." And I sent it one word at a time on postcards. Well, they got mixed up and it came out, "Found a virgin. It's paradise. Yours, Dave."
Yeah. Yeah, you want. Well,
You
that's the reason.
have to control how it gets distributed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like next Tuesday, we can discuss it, because I just wrote down quick little notes, and the wording can change, because even if Mike can remember some of the sayings, I'm going to try to remember some of them too. I gotta go for a second here. The phone's ringing.
Alrighty. Tony, you've been awful quiet here.
Hey, how you doing?
I just want to make sure you're still in here. I couldn't hear you breathing.
I'm listening.
You got anything to add?
Actually, yeah.
We always appreciate your words of wisdom. You always have some.
Actually, this is like a request. I was wondering if that I saw this business opportunity that I'm really interested in.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering if you can add it to one of the
I'm
business
back.
opportunities in the winning team system, just for me. But anybody is welcome to to have that too.
Yeah. Have we created you a winning team system page yet?
Oh yeah.
If I have, if you'll just shoot me an email with the information about the new program you're looking at and you're interested
Yeah.
in. If you'll send me that, I'll add it to the page. It's easy to do.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll be glad to do that. I've done it for other people here on the team. You know, everybody's page is not identical, which is a good thing because, you know, it doesn't get stale in people's mind, or it don't get where they've seen the same thing over and over again. So, you know, if you got something else, you know, we on the winning team, we're here to help teach and train people to build networking business. It not a specific networking business, but networking business. I'm absolutely 100% positively sold on networking and the networking industry, the networking business. But I also fully recognize and realize that there's literally thousands of opportunities out there that are good, that could be, that could make you, the next one come along could make you rich. But that don't mean I think everybody ought to go jump on the flavor of the week either. You know what I mean by the flavor of the week, and they come out like I said a while ago. If you don't see something you like, just wait about 5 minutes, and there'll be another one out. You can try it, but like I said, not everybody's going to build the same business, but we're all in the same business. We're all in the same industry of building network marketing, and we throw some things out there that we think will provide people with the tools and the information that will help them build any network marketing business. If you'll take this call tonight, you'll listen to it. You can apply it to just about any business out there. And duplication. One of the things we've been talking about is that's absolutely necessary, no matter what business you're building. So, absolutely, if you got some information you want it added to your page, just send it to and let me know. If you ain't got a page yet, I'll create the whole page for you. But that's easy to do.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good because this program, I like it because of the product. I'm sold on the product. I'll let you guys know what it's all about.
All right. Product, well, we'll talk about it. We're running way over time here, and Robert's gonna have to go eat his supper. It's just all there is to it. And so
Yeah.
we'll put that on an agenda, and we'll talk about it Tuesday night, Thursday night, whenever we get time and space on the next call or so, and we'll do it. Absolutely. Uh,
And then one other thing I might suggest before I go
yes, sir.
is that I love the fact that we've got, what, about three or four, maybe five people tonight.
Yes, sir.
Uh, all of us are here. We are all in the network business. I'm going to try my best to see if I can get at least one more person to come to our call next Tuesday.
No,
Well,
that's the wrong thing to say. You say I am going diamond. This is what you want to say.
Oh, I want to go diamond.
No, I'm going diamond.
not I want to, but I am. You know,
Now, how about
you
I
you
will?
no, I am.
I am.
You know, I will implies that you really want to, but you're not really sure when.
Never thought of that, but I'll make a note of it.
All in here. Does anybody else have anything you want to add before we close out?
Great call, Mike.
Well, thank you, Dave. It's not a great call, Mike. It's a great call, team. The Everybody here has added to the conversation and added to the knowledge that has been shared, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it 100%. And with that, unless someone else has got something to say, I'm gonna go ahead and close out and